Right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Imagine graduating. You know the drill. You've spent 4 long years in college, you attended the classes, submitted the endless assignments, and you actually passed the exams. You finally have that degree in your hand. Your parents are incredibly proud, your friends are celebrating with you, and everything feels absolutely perfect. But then Monday morning arrives. You open up LinkedIn, you upload your resume, and you start applying. And then, total silence. Days turn into weeks, weeks bleed into months, and you are faced with this stark, terrifying reality that your academic degree hasn't actually given you the practical exposure that employers are desperately looking for. You sit there staring at your screen, and you're just wondering, what am I missing here? Let's really empathize with that student for a second, because honestly, it is a heartbreaking realization. But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. For millions of students out there, talent is not the issue. You have the drive, you have the intelligence. What you're actually missing is the opportunity and a structured, practical connection to the industry. The current system basically leaves talented students completely undiscovered, simply because traditional hiring relies on resumes that just do not capture real ability. And that brings us to a pretty harsh reality. To quote directly, access to education does not automatically create equal access to practical knowledge. Our formal education system is fantastic at building those important theoretical foundations. It really is. But it completely lacks a structured, continuous, and accountable way to give you real-world, hands-on experience. Increasing access to a college degree doesn't just magically give you access to modern tools, experienced mentors, or real problem-solving pipelines. Which leads us right into Section 1, the illusion of capability. Think about the massive contrast between the traditional classroom and the actual real world. On one hand, we have the common academic cycle. You learn the theory, do a few assignments, take an exam, and you get your marks. Boom, done. But look over at the practical capability cycle. This right here is how talent is actually built in the real world. You discover a concept, you attempt to use it, you make a bunch of mistakes, you debug those mistakes, and then you prove your capability. The traditional academic cycle creates this really dangerous illusion of readiness, while completely skipping the messy real-world debugging process that actually builds your talent. You know, this brings up what I like to call the I have heard of it problem. So many students attend these frantic 3-day weekend AI or cloud computing boot camps and just get trapped at level 1 or 2. They've heard the name, maybe they memorized a quick definition, but because the workshop ends and there's literally no follow-up, they never reach level 3, where they can use it with guidance, let alone level 4, where they're applying it totally independently. A certificate of attendance at a weekend workshop does not equal true mastery.
Moving on to Section 2, the opportunity ecosystem.
Enter Vissionary Nexus. Now let's be super clear about something right off the bat. This isn't just another website trying to sell you online courses. It is a comprehensive, multi-agent ecosystem. Think of it like a bridge. It's a living environment where opportunities are continuously created, where raw talent is discovered, and where practical skills are transformed directly into meaningful careers.
This whole ecosystem is built on active participation. We are talking about hackathons, innovation challenges, hiring challenges, internships, mentorship programs, and dynamic digital portfolios. And what's really cool is that this isn't just for software engineers. Whether your background is in commerce, arts, pharmacy, or design, this ecosystem gives you a platform to showcase your practical skills and your continuous learning directly to potential employers through your actual, verifiable performance.
That brings us to Section 3, building true practical mastery. Let's actually break down that journey. Say we use Arduino as an example. You don't just magically jump to the finish line, right? You start with Step 1, basic understanding. Then you move to Step 2, guided practice. Step 3 is where it gets real, debugging. You have to encounter broken code or faulty sensors and figure out how to fix them yourself. Finally, you reach Step 4, independent creation, where you are given a problem, not a step-by-step tutorial, and you have to combine everything you've learned to solve it. Because, and this is a core rule here, binge watching is absolutely not mastery. Think about it. How many times have you put a tutorial on 2x speed just to race to the end? Yeah, we've all done it. Well, Vissionary Nexus does not allow you to fake capability like that. The platform demands actual evidence of learning. It requires later recall, independent application, and proven debugging to ensure you actually built the talent. You cannot just passively consume content. You have to actively prove your capability.
All right, Section 4, solving real, local problems.
This process, it's messy, but honestly, it's beautiful. You form a team. You go out into the real world and investigate a local problem. You attempt to build a solution. And guess what? You will encounter failure, for sure. But that is exactly where the magic happens. You debug, you adapt, and you improve. Tackling these real-world constraints forces you to learn things that were never taught in the initial tutorial. Things like how to communicate, how to handle disagreements, and how to manage costs. Because, well, that is how real engineers operate. And you know what else? It completely solves that universally dreaded group project flaw. You know the one, where one person does 90% of the work while everyone else sleeps, but somehow everyone gets equal credit? Instead, Nexus Teamwork actively tracks and captures individual contributions. It records exactly who proposed the tasks, who submitted the code evidence, who diagnosed the failure, and who presented the final pitch. So your specific individual talent is actually captured and recognized.
Okay, let's talk tech. In Section 5, the blockchain trust layer.
First things first, let's demystify the technology a bit so it's not intimidating. Highly sensitive information, like a student's identity, their personal information, project files, and detailed feedback, all of that stays completely off the public blockchain. It is securely stored in standard private databases. There are no cryptocurrency requirements, no confusing wallets to manage, and no gas fees for the student. Your privacy is fully protected, plain and simple. So you might be wondering, what actually does go on the blockchain? Well, just this, a cryptographic hash. Think of it simply as a unique digital fingerprint of your final, verified experience record. That fingerprint is anchored onto the blockchain purely to make your record tamper-evident and checkable in the future. Basically, it acts as an unshakable external proof of integrity.
Let's look at how this verification plays out in practice. Say a student's original verified contribution was contributed to testing. Later on, an employer clicks Verify Experience. If the fingerprints match, boom, it shows as verified. But if someone tries to get sneaky and alters their database record to claim they, built the entire system, the cryptographic fingerprint completely changes. The system instantly flags verification failed. This guarantees 100% trust for the employer, ensuring they are hiring genuine, proven talent. And that leads to our final part, Section 6, proving what you can do.
The grand finale of this entire journey is the longitudinal student experience record. This isn't just a piece of paper with a GPA stamped on it. It is a verifiable, tamper-proof history of the exact capabilities you have mastered over time. It shows the real challenges you attempted, the failures you successfully diagnosed, and your exact tracked contributions to a real team solving a real problem. The shift in mindset here is just monumental, literally game-changing. We are moving away from a world of passively collecting paper certificates to a world where you can proudly look an employer in the eye and say, I can prove exactly what I did. Vissionary Nexus is replacing guesswork, assumptions, and basic academic marks with a crystal-clear, verified demonstration of your actual ability and talent.
And that leaves us with this final, truly provocative question to ponder. If talent exists everywhere, in every single classroom, every town, and every community, why on earth should opportunities be limited to only a few? By building this autonomous ecosystem that bridges the gap between theoretical education and verifiable capability, Vissionary Nexus is ensuring that true talent finally meets real opportunity. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this leaves you thinking differently about how we learn, how we actually prove our skills, and what the future of hiring is going to look like.